Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Virtual Flight Diaries. Wednesday night live stream. We are here with the among other things. Wow, okay. Alright, so we're in Kingsman, Arizona, and we're going to be flying over to Sedona. This is on the tail end of our Monday night stream where we took the a more advanced general aviation aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 up to Aspen with the Diamond DA-42. So we're going to go a little bit older. So we got a 1960s Piper PA-24-250 Comanche by A2A Simulations. And I have it outfitted without the GPS. So we're going to use a little VOR navigation. And it's a short hop over to Sedona from Kingsman, Arizona. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. It looks like it's working. I have no idea why I couldn't hear my intro music. And that was acting funky. I also was having some problems with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So hopefully this goes good. It's getting some crashes. Alright, so let's just check my controls. That looks good. That looks good. Rudder pedals. Good. And we got mixture, prop, and throttle. Everything looks bound up. You can see no no GPS. So let me just get say intentions up. Just going to do a little just use some say intentions for ATC. No VATSIM tonight. And we are Piper 791 Papa. Let me check to make sure that that audio is working. That's working. I don't all right. So get that on. All right, so battery comes on. Actually, let's shut the battery off. Let's go over some things first. So get the tablet here. So let's check our fuel and payload. So we got full wing tanks and everybody's on board. Make sure all our covers are off. Okay. That looks good. So here we're going to take a look at our flight. Yeah, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna navigate here. So we're gonna take off from Kingman, and then we're gonna fly down to the Prescott Lake VOR, or the Drake VOR, and then we're going to go on this radial right here towards Sedona, which is going to point towards the Winslow VOR. So the Winslow VOR is past Sedona, so we're not going to go all the way to the VOR, but we're going to navigate away from Drake on this radial line, which will put us near enough, and as you can see outside, it's clear, so we're going to be VFR the whole way. We'll be able to pick up Sedona visually. So that's how we're gonna get there, because there's no way to navigate. Well, there is a way. We could do the Kingman VOR, and if we had a slide rule, we could draw a line and we could go away from that VOR on our own radial, calculating for drift, wind drift, and intercept Sedona, but I don't have a computer to calculate for the wind drift, because that would be more dead reckoning than anything. So but we're gonna go old school. Alright, and then we'll just do a visual approach to Sedona, and that'll be our trip. So it should be about an hour flight, depending on the winds. But that's how we're doing. So let's fire it up, because we gotta get these engines warmed up, because this is well modeled. Rotating beacon could come on. Now we can put the fuel on. Gonna give it a couple squirts of gas. Fuel pump. Good, crack the throttle. Magnetos can come on. And let's fire her up. Down to 1,000 RPMs. And we got fuel pressure and oil pressure, so just lean that out for ground operations so we don't foul our engine out. And we can turn our avionics on, pitot heat can come on, and fuel pump can come off. A2A has so well simulated that if we sat on the ground, it would simulate the windows fogging up from our breath and heat in the cockpit.
Kingman ground, Skyhawk 311 Echo Golf, just requesting assistance on location of departure runway. Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf, say parking and request. Kingman ground, requesting location of runway.
All right. So we're all tuned on. So we're going to tune in our first VOR, which is Kingman, or not Kingman. It's Drake, and that is 114.1. So I'm going to put 114.1 in the nav.
Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf change to advisory frequency approved. Squawk VFR.
So we're already picking it up.
Los Angeles my some weird lights in front of me.
DME on.
Traffic in front of me.
And it looks like we're gonna.
Negative no known traffic in your vicinity. Can you
about
describe the lights?
easterly. So
FedEx 1219 Los Angeles Center cleared for the
Dial that
RNAV
in.
runway 26 left approach into Las Vegas. Fly heading 304 vectors to Rockstar.
Clear for the RNAV runway 26 left approach into Las Vegas. Fly heading 344 vectors to Rockstar. FedEx 1219.
set that up. We have 60 gallons of fuel on board.
Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf contact Kingman Tower on 122.8.
And in this one, we're going to put 112.6. So that's our other
Echo Golf.
VOR.
Taxis runway via Alpha and hold short of the active and
Just to keep
contact
that, just to monitor that.
further instructions.
We're also going to put it in here, so we can just switch it over.
Skyhawk 311 Echo Golf.
And that is, what did I say, Winslow?
Ready for departure.
Frontier 408 2800
Winslow VOR.
280.
Which should come active the closer we get to
408.
Sedona. We're going to be climbing up to 9,500 feet.
Citation 0 Echo Zulu.
And just to clear the terrain, because there's a lot of
Descend and maintain
mountainous and, well, I guess they call them mesas.
Skyhawk 311 Echo Golf. Just currently at the ramp and requesting a taxi with information Foxtrot. Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf, roger.
Alright, and let's see, runway 3,
Tango Bravo
departure.
Mike 850 at
Kingman traffic, Piper 7901 Papa, taxiing to runway 3 via Delta, Delta 4, Kingman.
Borrego Valley Lima 08.
Alright, so we have no taxi lights, so what I'm going to do is we're going to just turn on one wing light to indicate we're taxiing. And parking brakes off. Engines sound good. Do a little quick run up as we get closer to the runway. So I'm flying real weather, just not real time. We got we're about 7:45 in the morning. You really don't want to do too much desert flying in the afternoon. Gets a little turbulent. Deserts in the afternoon. No, I haven't done much flying out here. Probably maybe some virtual airline stuff. Probably landed some airliners in Phoenix, but not real general aviation. But this thing is a real joy to fly. So if you're starting out and you know you've been flying the default Cessnas and you're looking for something to upgrade into, but you're just a little too intimidated by airliners yet, this is the perfect plane. So it's study level, you got a lot to manage, it's not overwhelming, it It does have an autopilot. That does take some getting used to. It's not a plug and play kind of autopilot. You gotta work it. You can't really set it and forget it so much. Even if you're following GPS. And you can set this thing up with the GNS 530. So you can do some long distance stuff. But if you really want to learn flight systems and learning how to fly the basics, this is the perfect plane for you. It trims out nice, it hand flies very nice. And yeah, so the taxiway labelings are all wrong, not to the charts, but that's typical fault. I don't know where the heck Asobo gets the taxiway markings. I swear they make them up. Alright, so we'll turn a little bit into the wind here. Parking brake could come on. Mixture full rich. RPM up to 1800. Listen to that engine. Engine sounds good. No sputtering. Let's drop it. Go left. Good drop. Back to both. Alright. That's a good drop. Back to both. Run the prop. Looking for RPM drop, manifold pressure rise, and we actually should get some oil pressure rise as well, or some oil pressure drop as well. So that all looks good. All right, we'll bring it back down to 1,000 RPMs. And then one final thing, we're going to drop it down to idle and see if the engine stays running. Yep. All good. Time to take off. Kingman traffic, Piper 791 Papa. Taking off runway 3 for east departure. Kingman. Alright, flaps first position. Landing lights can come on, strobe light can come on. Fuel pump on for takeoff. Everything else looks good. Mixture full rich. Let's go. Hey, Michigity Pilot. Welcome to the chat. How do you install in 2024? And it is looking good. Yes, sir. So, what I did is I believe I directed the install to my 2024 community folder. But since we are not on VATSIM, hold on one second. I want to make sure that I don't give you the wrong information. But it was either I directed it to it or the installer had 2024 option. Either way, you just plop it into the community folder, and it worked fine. It showed up, and everything was there. I can't do. quick. Where do we got the A2A downloader? Yeah, so I just downloaded. So if I can't, yeah, I can't press that or it'll screw things up. But yeah, you just point it towards your community folder for 2024, and that's it. All right, so let's get the park brake off. Let's go. So there is a P factor, so you got to give it some rudder. So you find that little, is it still a little sensitive? Oh, we get about 60, a little over 60 knots. We'll pull back on the yoke, and off we go. Pause rate, gear up. Turbulence there. Plus it's very hard to fly outside, not trimmed up. Alright. Oh, we'll get some trim in there. Start our climb out, and we'll line up for the VOR. Start heading towards Sedona. But once it's trimmed out, it's very nice to fly. A little slippery on approach. She likes to be fast.
Pilot Club 280, Los Angeles Center, expect the runway 17 right approach
So
into
let's
Henderson
get out
Executive
of
via the
little climb power in.
Expect the runway 17 right approach to Henderson Executive via Nintendo 1 arrival. Pilot Club 280.
So what I'm doing is I'm pointing myself in an intercept to our radial.
Descent to 9,000, Pilot Club 280.
So we're going a little past, head towards the line.
Right approach into Henderson Executive, altimeter 2977. Descent via Nintendo 1 to runway 17 right into Henderson, altimeter 2977, Pilot Club 280.
So we're a little heavy, full, with full tanks of gas, although I don't have any fuel in the wingtip tanks.
Los Angeles Center, good day. Piper 764, Juliet 7500.
You turn on the autopilot master, get that set up.
Juliet, good day. Radar contact 9 miles west of Parsons Field at 7,500. Altimeter 2968. Continue on present heading.
Piper 400, Juliet 2968, present heading. Piper 400, Juliet, westbound straight, you are. Aircraft light, because there is some flashing lights, white and red, maybe some military. Thank you.
47 Mike,
So I
copy
think I
that.
actually have to give a little more, because I think the wind is actually coming from that direction.
47 Mike. Los Angeles Center, good morning. Delta 47 Mike, little flight level south, 176, please flight level 250.
Del 47M, Los Angeles Center, roger.
Los Angeles Center, Southwest 913 with you, flight level 290.
Southwest 913, Los Angeles Center, roger.
So the way this autopilot works, it's on our turn indicator.
Frontier 408, Los Angeles Center, descend via the Bruiser 1 arrival. Expect the RNAV, runway 26 approach into Phoenix.
Frontier 408, descend via the Bruiser, expect the RNAV.
It's a coordinated flight going here.
KIGM LA Center, Citation 50, Echo Zulu, descending to 180. Citation 500, Echo Zulu, Los Angeles Center, roger.
Los Angeles Center,
So the way this autopilot works, so we can set a heading, but what we're going to do is we're going to
I can't hear you.
I can hear everyone
go
else.
nav low.
I can't hear you
And
when
what
you
that's
try
going
and
to
talk
do
to me.
is it's going to capture our localizer and point us towards it.
And attempt radio check.
And
Say intentions once
it
communication.
doesn't have any kind of vertical path hold, so you got to trim it out to climb. Give it a little trim, keep it up around 500 feet per minute. And there we go. So yeah, so the wind's coming from that direction, so we're kind of...
D221 climb and maintain flight level 1905. Pilot Club 280 Los Angeles Center, roger.
We're on a little bit of an uncoordinated flight, so there's no yaw dampener, so that's probably why.
Pilot Club 280.
Alright, so we can shut off our landing lights, and fuel pump could come off, and we're good. We are navving and climbing, and we got 73 miles on our DME to Drake. And we're all ahead of the game. We got our second VOR programmed in, so we don't have to fiddle with that. And we're monitoring our second VOR just so we can have some situational awareness once we get closer. And as we climb out, and we'll be under 10,000 feet, so there's no oxygen needed, unlike our Aspen trip, where we would have needed oxygen to climb up to 16,000 feet to clear those Rocky Mountains. The Arizona mesas are not as high, but they are still up there. But Sedona, if you notice, if you've taken any of our, if you've taken any of the training courses in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they use Sedona as their training airport. So if anyone has done the training in the simulator, they'll be familiar with Sedona. And we should be squawking 1200. I don't know what that is. But our engine sounds good. And you can really, what's really cool about this, and a lot of pilots do it, is you can really judge how your engine's doing by the sounds of this plane.
Good evening, LA Center, Flight 500,
Some trim in here, get us climbing again.
Citation 0 Echo Zulu, descend and maintain flight level 180.
But we're real heavy, so we're only making 85 knots when we climb. We're right at max takeoff weight. So we got full passengers. I got a passenger in this seat. Full wing tanks. Outside temperature gauge. There's our EGT. Suction. Ah, there's outside temperature. Yeah, it's 50, a little over 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a cool morning in Arizona. So we'll just get our, since I don't have an automatic capture, we're just going to get our, just going to monitor our climb out to 9,500. Just lean it back a little bit for the climb.
311 Echo Golf at the rump area. Just ready to taxi with information, Foxtrot.
Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf, Los Angeles Center, roger.
It's good. Trimmed out. Let's nav it. So the wind shifted a little bit here. So there's two navigations. There's track low and track high. And what that is just the sensitivity to the track. So when you're further away from the VOR and trying to line up on it, you're going to use track low. And then once you're established on that line, you can then hit track high and it'll lock it in. Because it'll increase the sensitivity. And then once again, when you get closer, and you'll start seeing the plane will start hunting.
Pilot Club 280, Los Angeles Center, roger.
The needle gets more sensitive. You could just knock it back down to low, lower the sensitivity a little bit, and
Los Angeles Center,
it'll track a little better.
Delta checking in at
It's not an accurate autopilot, but it does the job.
Delta Delta, Los Angeles Center, roger.
If we were using GPS, it could track a GPS line. You would just go all the way to high sensitivity on that. But it doesn't. So what's interesting with this is this autopilot and tracking a GPS is that, say your dogleg on your route is, now it'll automatically switch to the next leg if it's shallow. But say it's a sharp dogleg, it's not going to automatically go to that. It'll actually blow past it. So what you got to do is you look at the track for your next leg, and then you would set your course and heading towards that next leg. And what you do is you'd use the heading bug to line yourself up onto the next leg, and then you would go back to nav, and then you could track the next leg. So you have to work. It's not automatic, which makes it really nice and fun. It has a little bit of a satisfying way about it.
D221, roger, maintain flight level 280.
So it looks like we're already starting to pick up Winslow VOR. So we take a look at that. See where Winslow is. So Winslow is a radial about 65. So if you look at your chart, well, there's 70. Far out, so we got maybe 68. And we look at our chart, so we're on a radial of 100, 104, somewhere around there, to Drake. And if you look, Winslow is at about. Actually, why don't I show you what I'm talking about?
14,000.
Turbulent.
Pan American 313, Los Angeles Center, roger.
So you can see, this is our track right now. We're about 104. And if you look, Winslow is at about 65, 70. So that's how you can kind of make sure that you're tracking the right VOR. You go away, see. So that's about right. So we're good. That way you don't get lost because you don't have the nice magenta line to follow. We're following radio beacons. And I'm talking to you guys, and I blew past my thing, so we're up at 10,000. So we're gonna drop down a little bit.
Altimeter 2968. Advise when you have the weather at Flagstaff Pulliam and expect runway 21 for arrival.
Coming in at 10,000 feet. We'll trim down into a shallow descent.
Piper 4 India,
and we have an altitude hold right here. So we'll just watch that needle come down, just trim out once the.
12845, bye-bye.
So we're going to power back.
242, contact Albuquerque Center on 128.45.
Contact Albuquerque Center on 128.45. United 242. Center United 242 is flight level 10,000 inbound for runway 26 left, KLAS.
Now a lot of things can break on this.
Center, good evening, altimeter 2977.
Let's drop it back a little bit. So like if you don't follow the flap speeds, you don't follow the white arc, that kind of thing, you could break your flaps, you could break your landing gear. So there's a whole lot of things that make this plane just interesting.
Los Angeles Center United 242 is at waypoint transition Drake, going to be inbound for ILS runway 26 left, Las Vegas.
United 242 Albuquerque Center, roger, altimeter 2983.
That shallow descent.
Los Angeles Center United 242 is flight level 10,000 at transition Drake, eastbound for runway 26 left, ILS.
And 9,500. Turn the altitude hold on, blue light comes on, we know it's holding.
Los Angeles Center, contact Albuquerque Center on 128.45. Have a good evening.
Yeah, we're a little high, but we're within tolerance.
128.45, that's a Dublin one.
We're getting tossed around out here.
Spirit wings 952 approaching 240, traffic 350.
Spirit wings 972, Los Angeles Center, roger.
So another thing too with this autopilot is it'll hold the altitude, but it can only trim itself so much, and it'll actually tell you if it starts to get out of trim and goes beyond its auto trim, and you'll actually have to help it along with some manual trim. So these lights will light up, and most likely we're going to get that. So see, it's telling us we need some up trim, so we'll give it up. You just trim up until the light goes out, and you're good to go. Another thing I like about this plane, still another, this plane's supposed to have 7791 Papa on the side, but the servo is to punch their own numbers in. Constantly changing. And if I were to unload this and load this back in, this tail number would be different. So you can't have a persistent tail number, which is annoying as all heck. I hope they fix that in some way.
United 1114,
So,
Los Angeles Center, roger.
which makes this so as opposed to the fantasy of flying around in something as sophisticated as almost $1 million for a Diamond Twin Star. This would be something that a pilot would regularly have. You could pick up one of these for about $60,000, and the regular Joe pilot probably would own this, or a club would own this, and it would be something that you would fly. And it has range. You could go a long way with this thing. Especially with the wingtip tanks, although this is about the max with fully loaded, so you couldn't put any fuel in the wingtips, be overweight.
Squawk 4525 and I deck.
Squawk 4525.
Gotta keep on top of this autopilot, so we get some more trim in there.
Skyhawk 311 Echo Golf. Currently squawking at 3545, please confirm.
And all this was saying was that the automatic trim
Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf, where are you headed?
couldn't handle what we put on it. So,
Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf.
and since we've got some turbulence going here, it's struggling.
South east towards Sedona. Approximate 7,000 feet. Los Angeles Center, request frequency.
And we really don't need, so we're pretty good VFR, so we really don't need ATC. Just stay clear of these clouds. Beautiful terrain.
Albuquerque. Thank you very much for booking us on Mike.
47 Mike, good day.
Oh, we got about 54 miles to our first waypoint. And then Sedona, if you look at the map, is about 34 miles from the Drake VOR. So when we head towards Winslow, we're going to look for about, when it gets about 30, we're going to start looking out the window, see if we can identify the airport. It just keeps telling you what trim to put in, and you just keep adjusting. This will not hold, you know, this doesn't have anything fancy. It doesn't hold an ILS approach, or you can't do RNAVs with it. It's very basic. Just keep our situational awareness. That's looking good still. So this fuel computer, so let's see how far could we go at this setting. So we can run at this speed, which is actually a little slow. It's weird. Go ahead, flaps are up, gears up. Must be a heck of a headwind. Should be cruising a lot faster than this. Just power back a little bit. Now that's why. Manifold pressure was down from the descent. We'll bring that back up to, we'll do 2323. Looks like 21 is going to be our max. Lean it out some more, get some more power. Much it. Alright, so that's better. So we could do about, so we got 4 hours of fuel, and about probably doing maybe 120 knots. So, is that about 400 miles? 400 nautical miles? And if we had a good tailwind and we were a little lighter, we could get some better speed going. Alright, so it wants us to trim down. Trim down until that light goes out. Powered up, it climbed us out a little bit, so we'll come back down. It'll slowly bring us back down to where we set it. So now we're moving. Now we're cooking with gas. Alright, trim down.
Four 7 Mike, say again your last transmission, please.
We're going to fly first
And, you know, we could try to get a little further. You know, we could squeeze that out. Probably push that out to 5 hours. But you're still, so this is tanks dry, so you're going to actually want to give yourself, you know, 30 minutes in your calculation. I usually calculate an hour, because you never know what's going to happen.
128.45.
Now we're good. Well leveled out.
Thank you.
We're moving now. We're like about 138.
Echo Golf. Could you repeat the frequency for Albuquerque?
So we definitely got a wind heading at us.
Center on 128.45.
That's it. So we're navving right. Everything's looking good. Our VOR is moving on us as we get further east. So what we want to do is we want to set up our heading bug for our turnout on the VOR, because it's not going to automatically just, you know, I'll show you, it's not going to snap to it.
Longitude 22 Tango, Los Angeles Center. Good evening.
Los Angeles Center. Longitude 22 Tango, flight level 280. Los Angeles Center, Honda Jet 273 Charlie with you, flight level 280.
Honda Jet 273 Charlie, Los Angeles Center. Good evening.
So we're just looking at Prescott International, and let's get the approach on. Standby here. About 133.575. VFR is a little sketcy. I think I have to call across the trip because it's a. So Prescott is a
Delta 221 Los Angeles Center, roger.
Do we have to establish? So you got to establish two-way for a Charlie and Bravo. You need permission. Delta, do I need it? Yeah, we'll call for permission across the Delta. Let's see what Say Intentions does. Oh, we're actually in Echo. I don't think I need to make contact at all.
Frontier 408, descend and maintain flight level 310. Maintain flight level 310. Los Angeles Center, thanks very much. Good day. Los Angeles Center,
That up real quick.
flight level 950.
Cessna 218, Delta Lima, Los Angeles Center, roger.
Los Angeles Center, copy that. Skywalk, Echo Golf. Skyhawk 1 Echo Golf, contact Albuquerque Center on 128.45.
Okay, it's class Echo, so we don't have to make contact. So we don't have to make contact, and we just fly because we're below 10,000. Good, about 30 miles away from Drake. Look at that scenery. Tell you what, 2024 is a beautiful sim. I keep saying it.
Texas next via the Blueberry 1 arrival and also the RNAF 7 left approach, Southwest 913.
913, contact Albuquerque Center on 128.45.
128.45, Southwest 913.
Clouds are still a little jank, Sobo. I don't know. You need to fix them. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look weird. But it's very, very, other than the coloring, they're still very 2020. Yeah, we'll get some bounces when we get over these mountains. Always look at so we're VFR, so you don't want to frame hit with that. You're on the wrong chart, so you want VFR, and you can look at see if you can find any en route landmarks. Probably going to be going over, Bear Mountain. So you're going to want to, if you knew the area, I don't know the area, so I can't tell like what mountains what. You would want to look at these landmarks. Maybe look for a lake, but and that helps if we were dead reckoning. But we're following a VOR, so we know we're heading towards Drake. it helps to kind of paint a picture via the map of where exactly you are. But it doesn't look like there's very much out here. Nothing but open desert. Some rivers there. Some bodies of water. Which I don't see on the map. Say, Pepperoni Gaming, welcome to the stream and chat. What altitude are you crossing Drake? I'm at 9,500. And it looks like Drake at 9,500 is Class Echo. So we're above the Delta.
Frontier 408, descend and maintain flight level 220. Maintain flight level 220. Frontier 408, descend and maintain flight level 150. 150, flight Frontier 408.
And we're just keeping our eye on our Winslow VOR, which will be our outbound or inbound from Drake. And that's still tracking that good. That direction looks right. And I'm not entirely sure what that body of water is. Oh, here it is on the map. Although it's not labeled, but it is there. So we know via the map that we're in the right direction as well, just from visual reference. It's a river, but there is... Navigraph doesn't have a name on it. I wonder if... so let's see. Is it the Apache Creek? We're all looking good. Sometimes it's fun to just get out and get back to the basics of navigation. You know, airliners are fun. Modern avionics, they're fun as well. They have their own fun to it, but we should always practice every once in a while. And this is why I keep this plane. I practice all my basic navigation with it. VOR to VOR, VFR, ground reference, navigation, so on. Because you never know if you're going to be in that A320 and lose all the modern stuff, and you got to go back to basics. Now you're flying a jet 400 miles an hour. Gotta you want to have these skills still. And you may never know where you're at in the world. You know, you may be down in South America or you know, in Africa, or you know, the more desolate parts of the world where your approach will be a VOR approach, and you know, you might want to,
408 squawk 1104.
you might not be able to, you know, navigate using the modern stuff. Although these days it's pretty modern. I'm not going to say that that an Airbus A320 couldn't do a VOR approach using its computer navigation. It actually could very well do it. But it's always good to have these skills and this knowledge, if for anything, just to have that know-how. And I tell you what, A2A Simulations, other than
Honda Jet 73
maybe
Charlie, expect handoff
Black
in about
Square.
40 miles.
Roger. Honda Jet 273 Charlie.
some of the most
Honda Jet 73 Charlie, contact Phoenix
in-depth
approach on 119.2.
simulated aircraft.
119.2 Honda Jet.
And I want to say that A2A Simulations has got it better. It's got a markup on Black Square in the fact, especially with this plane, that they have the lack of modern avionics. Although I do believe, yes, the Dukes, you can set yourself up with just the basic avionics. No GPS, that kind of stuff. So that both are good for their thing. And what I would say for a step up from learning the Cessna 172 and those smaller default planes, and learning more about, you know, systems management and whatnot as you step into the airliners in the simulator, that this plane would be your purchase as opposed to the Piston Duke, just because of it's still single engine, but it's more complex. You got landing gear, you know, you got other systems that you have to manage. You know, your engine can freeze up. You know, the carb. You know, you got carb heat. You got to manage your carburetor temperature. This little computer here helps. Now I leaned for fuel flow. You can actually use this and lean the engines out, you know, properly. But since we had a short flight, I just leaned it for fuel flow. This is a good stepping, in my opinion. This is a good stepping stone from learning to fly in the simulator to your next plane. And then you can go from this. You can pick the Dukes. You can pick up some other more modern, if you really want to challenge. Of course, stepping from this to, say, Fly Somewhere's Leader 35 would be a big challenge. There we go. So we're going to switch over to Winslow. And so you see it's not quite snapping to it. So we're going to need to help it along. So we're going to put it in heading mode, which is the second one in. It's going to swing us around, and we're going to then just manage it a little bit with our heading till we get established, and then we can go back to and then down here I'm going to put, so we're going to wait for about 30 miles in. So 83 miles out so 30 miles would be 63. Well, we could start visualizing our where our airport is. And it looks pretty close. We'll get it into low. Slowly start bringing us in on that radio.
Phoenix departure, Athena 88, IFR to Chandler.
Degree is 60. Then you can look at the chart and look at our line from Drake, and it looks like a 60 degree. So we're right on. We're right on.
Departure on 124.85, squawk 4531.
KIGM-KSEZ, Lima Alpha, ready for departure. 2 Lima Alpha, change to advisory
So we'll
frequency
look at,
approved.
I'm going to look at the elevation for our airport. So we're looking at about 4,800 feet for Sedona. So pattern altitude will be about 5,800. A little bit, we'll slowly start down. Actually, before we make that decision, let's see what our terrain is
Lima Alpha,
before
approach,
we
roger.
get there. Yeah, Pepperoni again, course 62 outbound from Drake. Yes, and that's where we're at, 62. Perfect. Thank you, Pepperoni Gaming. We're right on the money. So it looks like we got a mountain at 7,800.
Sedona,
Once we get past that,
Bravo, lined up on runway 27.
we'll even if we had to, we'll circle down into the, because
Piper 50,
Sedona's
Bravo,
kind of like
roger.
down at a bowl a little bit, from what I gathered, from what I remember. So we'll stay at 9,500 until we get a little closer.
Again, Athena 88.
Athena 88. Clear to the Chandler Airport radar vectors Minjai then as filed. Maintain 10,000. Departure on 124.85. Squawk 4531.
So I believe Sedona is right over here, right against that mesa over there. It's on a little plateau itself. So once we get over this ridge, we should be able to drop down a little bit so we're not diving for the runway.
Piper 5, Sierra Bravo, say destination. Destination Kilo Foxtrot, Lima Oscar, Piper 50
Yeah,
Bravo.
so once we get past this bridge, we should be able to drop down to
Piper 5 Sierra
7500.
Bravo, roger.
And that'll should be good. This doesn't look like any more terrain.
Ground on 121.9 for Piper 50
Either
Bravo,
way.
good day. Flagstaff ground, Piper 50 Bravo, with you at Alpha 4, looking for taxi to the gate.
Yeah, so we got some towers. They're at
Piper 50
42.
Bravo, contact Flagstaff ground on 121.9 for taxi instructions. Good day.
Flagstaff ground, Piper 50 Bravo, is at Alpha 4, looking for
Disengage
taxi
the
to
altitude
General
hold.
Aviation
Blue
Park.
light is off. Power back. We're trimmed out, so it should drop us in to a descent. We can manage it with our power. Keep the trim in.
Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, taxi to General Aviation Parking via Alpha. Hold short of runway 21 at Alpha 4.
Because the trim is going to try, so it's trimmed for this speed, so it's going to try to maintain this speed.
Hold short, runway 21 at Alpha 4, Piper 50
Descent for
Bravo.
that. Just going to barrel rep. We weren't far off. Yeah, we're diving a little too much. Some power in. Bring us up. You can also trim. Trim is your friend. Trim in there. That's funny. That looks like an anomaly on the Bing maps, causing that
Piper
color.
5 Sierra Bravo, squawk tree 506 and ident.
Parking 3506 and identing. Piper 50 Bravo.
So we're all trimmed out for descent.
Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, radar
Looking
contact.
good on that. It's 8,500. So now we're going to start looking for Sedona. It should be out here.
Flagstaff Tower, Piper 50 Bravo is clearly active at 4 Bravo.
Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, contact Flagstaff ground on 121.9 for taxi instructions. Good day.
Because this radio isn't exactly going to take us right over the airport, but in the vicinity thereof. Yeah, get some power back in because we're dipping down pretty low. That's our airport right over there. So actually, we're going to disconnect the autopilot and we're going to hand fly. That's looking like our airport.
Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, contact Flagstaff Tower on 1 tree 4.55. Have a good evening.
Going to 134.55, Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, good day.
Piper 5 Sierra Bravo, good day.
So it's not
Flagstaff Tower, Piper 5 Sierra
getting
Bravo,
any of the
inbound,
frequencies from
turning left base for runway 27.
Let's try 23. Yeah, say intentions isn't working. Alright, so let's set up for the approach. Let's get the flight recorder on. I'm shutting off say intentions because it's not working. Don't know what happened there. Alright, so we'll bring it in, start a descent. Bring the mixture up and our prop slowly up. Like I said, she's kind of slippery. With the white arc, we got first stage of flaps. And our gear can come down. Coals. Get the carbine on. A little high, so I'll S turn. Stage of flaps. trim it up. Final stage of flaps. We should have these on. Look down the runway. And then the flare. Welcome to Sedona. Try to keep it on the center line. Flaps could come up. Strobe lights off. Probably we should have had our fuel pump on for landing. And we turn our pitot heat off. And we'll lean it out for ground operations. And we'll taxi on up. Let's stop that recording. Yeah, we'll park it up over here by the fence. Parking brake could come on. Bring it down just a little bit. And here we are, guys. The A2A Comanche VFR flight from Kingman to Sedona using conventional navigation. And that's how it's done. Alright, so let's check out that landing, which I think was really nice, actually. Run it forward. Did a proper technique, a little bit of S-turn to get ourselves down. Got a little low, powered up. flare, and just kissed it. Perfect. Got her back on the center line. Oh, that looked really good, guys. I don't know about you, but I will take it. Alright, so that is the live stream. I'll run that back. I want to thank everybody who joined in, Sugarty Pilot and Pepperoni Gaming. Thank you for the help, and I was glad I was able to answer some of your questions. This was a fun little stream. Took the Piper Comanche out, blow the dust off of it. Nice little VFR flight down to over to Sedona, and I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a like. It really helps out the channel. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. And there's more to come. So, Virtual Flight Diaries, I try to, as best I can, I try to stream Mondays and Wednesdays, and weekends that I'm off. But definitely scheduled Monday and Wednesdays. But unfortunately, sometimes I don't get it done because, you know, work. My real life job sometimes gets in the way. But there's more to come. So the next one's going to be next Monday. It's going to be our holiday stream. I'm looking to do a flight with a little holiday themed flight with the C-17A Globemaster. Plane that I've been looking at and trying to learn in the sim, and we're going to take it for a little Santa trip next Monday. All right, till then, thank you very much for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy. This is Virtual Flight Diaries. My name is John, and see ya.